use the words that you like using, but understand when is the right time to use those words for the person that you're speaking to.
I've been going through some things, so much on my brain, just hoping it would change.
Wow, what it is, y'all? Welcome back. You got your boy Ayo back here again. You already know what we're gonna do, how I'm gonna do. StoryHouse show, and on the StoryHouse show, what I do, I give y'all this temperature check to let y'all know how I'm doing before I run this conversation with y'all. And right now I'm trying to think of how can I continue talking like this and make it make sense. So I'm about to stop that shit and go to the temperature check right now. Yeah, though, man. What's up, y'all? So giving y'all a little quick check. Y'all already know last week, if you checked out the episode, I talked about faking it till you make it. And even though last week, I ain't gonna lie, I felt like I got hit with buku, like intrusive thoughts was pew, 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 pew. Motherfuckers was firing. So I had a few times of like having little rants and shit, little spills going off to the side. But I really feel like last week was a good episode. I feel like it was good information in it. And like always, I love when I have a conversation and able to have a follow-up talk with it. Like I know I spoke with someone about it and it was like, you know, I agree with most of what you're saying on the fake it till you make it, but then it was kind of like talking a little bit deeper on how like, I feel like it's times though when fake it till you make it work, or you know, it did work for me in this situation. And I kind of had a little conversation with them to get to a little bit more depth to it of saying fake it till you make it work in them situations. But I feel like if you able to like be a little bit more honest with yourself and not have to feel like you fake it, to where if society didn't even force you to feel like you got to fake it, I feel like we was able to get a little bit better understanding to where like, not saying it's not moments of where faking it kind of gets you through some things, but like working toward the goal of, no, I don't want to have to fake it to society. I don't want to have to feel like I can't be myself with someone. So I'm protecting myself by being fake, but instead being more okay with the fact, nah, me not being okay, I'm going to say this, and if you're not the person for me right here in this moment and you can't accept the fact that I'm not okay or you won't protect me in this moment, you ain't the person who I can give this real to. So I'm not going to have to be fake with you. I'm just not going to be present with you. And I feel like we was able to get a little bit better understanding of what I meant with the fake it till you make it. So even with having a conversation on here, having a more in-depth conversation, which I ain't going to lie, I would really love to the point in time, I'm just going to throw it out there. Like a goal of mine with this is to like get to a point of where getting to have like local community type things and getting people together to have like I want to say, obviously I feel like I talk about mental health type of things, but I want to also like beyond just mental health, just like whatever going on, society, culture, just whatever's going on, personal conversations, just having real ass conversations to where like we can still laugh and joke, but we still having real ass conversations and getting people together in like a real way. Like shit, fuck it, we pulling up. Hey, wine, what's down? It's the goddamn October 27th or something like that. Hey, we got this going on at this little area. We getting together. Ayo done set this up, the StoryHouse podcast, Forever Future Lifestyle, putting it on, you know what I mean? Throwing my little brains out there and shit, man. We putting on some shit, like doing things for people like a real way. So that sounds like that's my goal for this. So y'all already know they can happen at a point in time. Just know, hey, look, this is what we trying to build to. We trying to build to like doing real work, not just talking and shit. This conversation, this podcast shit dope as hell, and I hope it really helps people. But I want to like get to a point where I can have a conversation with people in a real way, which is why like at a point in time, I like to have guests. But first I want to get everything established first, like me having these conversations straight up, but then getting to a point where having guests to where we can have real conversations, a little bit having more bounce off to where I might say something, but having somebody ask me a question in the moment of, I can articulate it and go into it with a little bit better depth what I mean when I'm speaking. So just, it was a dope thing to like run in and have a conversation following up on topics and things that I didn't say with somebody. So shout out to you, Shotty. What else I got going on? Oh, this week, I forgot to tell y'all last week, my bad with that. I volunteered. This past Saturday was my volunteer day. So that was dope. Did another volunteer session at the Houston Food Bank. I'm going to definitely try my best to remember to tell y'all next time for August. I'm thinking I might do an early August volunteer session. So it might be like the 3rd or like the first, I think August 3rd or something like that. Whatever the first week of August, it might be that one or the second week of August. So I might be doing an earlier volunteer session. So I'm going to definitely let y'all know whenever that happens. If y'all want to pull up with me, do our little thing, giving back in the community. It was a real good session. Like on the whole day of Saturday when I volunteered, man, I ended up getting 15,000 steps. I don't know. That's for some of y'all. Like, that's a regular day. For me, like my watch goal is to get 7,500 steps. I don't get that plenty of days. So getting 15,000, twice as many, was really like, all right, for sure. I did my stepping around here. I left the food bank with 11,700. So like most of my steps, and that was before like noon, we didn't got in most of our stuff. And man, I feel like part of it was because the section I was working in, they had like a little carousel to come around and help you like pack and unload stuff. the carousel shut down. So man, we had to like get it in, like moving around. I'm having to like work more, and like I'm the type of person like if I volunteer, I came to get it in. Like I'm gonna probably sweat when I go volunteer because I came here to get it in, to do my thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, what can I do? What can I move around? I ain't really trying to just be standing around BSing because I could do that at home. If we just gonna be here chilling, I could have just chilled at the house. So when I come to volunteer, hey, look, I'm coming to step. I'm coming to do something. I'm coming to like try to do my little part that I can do to make an impact. So hey, look, use me to the best of your ability. Like get work out of me because that's what I came for. I can't vouch for everybody who pull up the volunteer, but when I pull up the volunteer, any type of thing, if I'm doing it, if I'm spending my extra time to do something, just know I came to work for real. So, and that machine ended up being down the whole time, but it was a good experience. I like, man, hey, I just had fun. So definitely I'm gonna let y'all know next time, Houston Food Bank. I feel like that's what it's gonna be because I'm gonna have to do more research to see if it's any other programs that I want to volunteer with, but that's what we definitely gonna be at next month. So letting y'all know that. What else I got on the temperature? Oh, so I usually try not to talk about art because I'm an artist, so I don't like to speak about other people's art. So I'm gonna try to keep this a little bit just general, or at least to the topic part that I wasn't really vibing too much. So you got the movie Inside Out 2, doing great in theaters. I seen it's like $1 billion movie, one of like the biggest animated movies ever, all that kind of stuff. Dope, that's great. I went to see the movie. Me and the person I seen the movie with both felt like the same way. Hey, this movie a little bit, I don't know. We weren't vibing. Like they was ready to leave. I was like, hey, look, money spent. We might as well chill here and watch through the rest of the movie. But for me, the biggest thing, it wasn't like necessarily hating on the movie. I just felt like it was endorsing too many negative behaviors without really having any repercussions for those things. So like I get the end result. It was like, hey, look, yeah, shawty, you go through things and it's okay to go through your emotions and have whatever things going on. And people be there for you still. And hey, you going through puberty or whatever with little shawty. And I feel like it's dope and it's great. But for me personally, it was just too much. She didn't really deal with any type of repercussions for what she did. Cause like one, your anxiety and whatever feelings can have you doing some things, but even if you have anxiety, if you're doing fake behavior, like you behaving in a way that's like you out of pocket, that gotta be in you. Like I don't care I don't care how much anxiety I have, and I'm not a person who has like crazy anxiety. So I speak to that like, hey, look, I'm not the person who go through all them crazy. Like my emotions don't run me too wild. So yeah, I'm not the person who didn't live through having them experiences. But I know I still have anxiety like any other person, and it's some stuff that I'm just not gonna do because that just ain't in me. Period. And that's how I was feeling like with watching that movie. Like LaShawty like was for sure I get going through her stuff, but it was just out the box, like way too much. And like for me, and I really hope this don't come across the wrong way. And I mean, shout out to the folks making the movie because I feel like they was aiming to just make something dope, put out a good thing, bring awareness, mental health as big as it is right now. But to me, I felt like it was like white women tears is kind of how I felt about it. Just like, oh, this girl going through all this, and the end result is like, oh, but she going through this and it's okay. And it's like, baby, some of the shit you did, like your apology at the end, that like, as asshole-ish as that little girl was and the fucked up shit she did, like some of that, like, bruh, you my partner. Like some of the shit she did behind your back is like, man, we can't run it. Like, no, you can't give me no small apology on some of that shit. And that's just how I felt about it. And I don't want to run it too much more because, like I said, I don't like speaking negatively on somebody creating art because, I mean, shit, it took a lot of time. It took a lot of effort. And it's buku people who loving this shit. It's a I really, other than me and running with that person about it, I've never really heard negative reviews about it. And they say they heard it from other people like, oh, my gosh, it's such a dope movie. So many people love it. So I don't want to be the person who like out here hating on movies. Just for me, I feel like it was put together and made. There was some great parts about it. But just for me in general, how I feel about mental health and like certain type of endorsements of behaviors, I just wasn't a fan of like how LaShawty was acting. That's just how I felt about it. And also what I'm gonna leave on is, man, I promise you, and that was my little girl, that was my daughter, man, bruh, that little girl was talking out the box to her parents. You know I'm talking about a well-whooped ass? Bruh, you wouldn't have had 2 times. Let her wake up with your emotion going crazy. Yelling at your mom, but let her mama not do something. I'm in the who the fuck you talking to? Who the fuck you? Girl, I'm finna whoop the white, black, brown skin off your ass. I don't give a fuck what it look like. But that's just me. I believe in whooping kids' ass. I know some of y'all probably like, oh nah, that's so barbaric, whooping kids' ass. You should be able to talk to them. Sometimes you need a little ass whooping, in my opinion. Y'all can feel how y'all feel. I don't believe in beating the shit out of kids, but I do believe in a little bit of get right to like let you know this ain't a game. Every conversation ain't a conversation. Sometimes we need a little bit of straightening up. Mostly I'm gonna talk with my words, but if you act like you ain't hearing no words, get your ass with look. Oh yeah. Oh, you hear me now. Yeah. So that's my spiel on that. I don't want to run it too long. But yeah, good, cool movie. Hey, y'all go out, watch the movie. Let me know what y'all opinion is. It y'all can hit me in the comments or something like that. Be like, hey, I was rocking what you feeling. I feel like what you were saying. Or you can be like, hey, nah, I don't know. But it was a great movie to me. Regardless, hey man, it's dope. I like the end result. I just didn't like the in between to get into there. Last thing on the little temper check I want to hit y'all with, man. I really want to get more hats. Like, I don't know if you noticed it watching the shit. I love bucket hats. I wear them all the time. It's like that's my vibe, my style. If you see me in the bucket, you see the bucket, you see AO, you already know what it is. Man, I want to get a little into something different. Like throw some little joints on. Like I ain't wore fitted in. I probably ain't wore fitted in probably like 8, 9, 10 years, something like that. Baseball cap or something like that. Just hit a little different vibe. I want to. Let me know if y'all got some recommendations on some hats y'all think can kind of like rock with. Like y'all see the kind of the vibes I be hitting on sometimes that y'all think can kind of I can throw in, and then be like, oh yeah, bro, I know you like them buckets, but let me hit you with one of these right here. This a hat style you ain't never even thought about playing. This might really like set some shit off. Let me know what y'all thinking on that. Like I know I seen it was this one Adidas hat. I think it was I ain't know what it was. I told somebody else about it. It was like, oh, that's a dope brand. I'm like, nah, this ain't a brand. That's what Adidas called the thing. And then I looked it up. Oh, it was a collaboration. I can't think of what it's called right now. But it was like a dope ass hat. I ain't gonna lie. I think it was like a female hat. It was like it was bucket looking, but it was like super colorful. But it had like these thick ass, instead of having like these little drawstrings like this, it had these little thick ass little scarfy type things or whatever. That shit was fire as hell. And that shit got me like, man, I need to get out the box, fuck with a few different type of vibes and shit. So if y'all know some shit is dope and y'all think like, hey, Ayo, I'm seeing kind of how you put this shit together a little bit. Like this light right here, like I got my little fairy tale joint on, you know what I mean? My favorite anime character all time, Happy. My boy in the middle here. Then you got Natsu right here. You got Urza, ain't it? Goddamn. What's Shotty name? Man, I ain't seen it in a minute. Happy my favorite character. I think Shotty name it ain't Lisa or something. It's some Lucy. And boy name I start with an S or something like that. I can't think of his name right now. But yeah, hey, this my favorite character, Happy. Let me keep on going. I know I already ran it for a little minute with y'all and not get into the topic. So that's the end of the temperature check. So shout out everybody who rocking with me so far. Cause y'all already know. I ain't hit y'all with it yet. Let me take a swig of this water before I get y'all started. Before I let y'all know that you in the StoryHouse show. You feel me? What it is, welcome. Y'all already know. If you kicking it with me. You already know, man. Hey, you fucking with me, I'm fucking with you. You in my house, man. If I'm letting you in my house, that mean I fuck with you. Cause I ain't just letting everybody in the crib. You feel me? Everybody can't grace their way through the door. Only real ones can step in. So if you stepped in here, you watching this with me, you listening with me, you a real one. So you already know, man. Let me know what it is. Take your shoes off at my door, cause I ain't gonna lie. Don't be tracking extra dirt all up in here. I don't be feeling like sweeping. So go ahead, get that out right. You know what I mean? I got some water in the refrigerator, got a little juice. I don't know what you drink on. Don't be acting out too much. I ain't got snacks. I had a meal prep for the week. Don't be touching on my shit. And we in here. We finna do our thing. So you know what I mean? Y'all cousins, y'all aunties, y'all uncles. You got a big mama here or there. You know what I mean? Hey, we doing this thing. It's a StoryHouse show. You rocking with your boy Ayo. Let's get to it. So we in here. And y'all already know what we do. Once we get our temperature checked, once we let y'all know y'all in the house, you're rocking with me, we get to the vent, man. That's what we doing today. And so just like any other day, we got a good old vent coming to it. On today's vent, we gonna be talking about, this one is a follow-up on the vessel of information that I had shared with y'all before. And it's the way information is delivered. So just gonna be kind of getting into pretty much the how you say things. Like sometimes it's a case of the vessel of information we was talking about how, it depends on the person who you hear it from and how that can factor into it. And sometimes it's just how you feel about that person. But now I want to focus in on that person and you, the person who's giving the information, and how you saying something, how you delivering information to people, and just the fact of how you convey information and how much it can change and vary on how people actually receive what you got to say. And I'll for sure follow up later on with a conversation more focusing on the listener and things that they do and how they manage and taking in information. Kind of like a extension on from this right here. But right now I just want to focus in on the speaker from this and just kind of like really diving into how you say something and the ways you deliver information is gonna, how those things factor into communication that you have with somebody else. And so like a big thing for me on that is just understanding that simply saying something does not equate to good communication. Because I feel like with some people, they like, if I said it, then I told you. Like I told you what I told you, so I ain't got nothing else to say about it. Like I know I want to say it was an Instagram reel I had seen this past week or something like that. It was like a little shot that she was like, hey, look. And she was speaking like super eloquent and I want to say loquacious. I ain't sure that's the right word, but I feel like this is one of them words for like speaking very well. And I feel like I speak decently, but I don't be feeling like trying to throw out all the extra ass words I know or some shit trying to make conversations make sense. I want this shit to feel like how I feel comfortable talking and chop it up and running with y'all. But if that's how y'all talk, like I know I done ran it with some people, they be throwing out some words and every time I'm like, what the fuck that mean? And I know sometimes there's people I ran it with who be like, what the fuck that mean? Hey, look, man, speak how you speak. But what I'm talking about right here, when Lashada was talking about in her little Instagram reel, she was like, look, I'm going to say it two times. And if you don't understand it by that second time, then we don't need to have a conversation. And for me, it was just like, nah, I feel what Lashada is saying. But also saying it 2 times, it depends on who you talking to and what their response is for me. Because you can say something twice, but how is it said? Did you try to accommodate to the person? Or is it just like I said the same thing, literally exact same words 2 times, and that person didn't receive it? But there's so many different factors as to why somebody did or didn't receive or understand what you said. And that's more or less the type of shit I'm gonna dive into here. Because I get the case of, as a speaker, you like, oh, I said it to you twice and I don't need to say it no more. Because there's some people who like, hey, if I said it to you twice and they ain't trying to listen, shit, they ain't trying to listen. And that'll be on that listening conversation. Well, fuck, you need to be moving. And like, I see that you ain't even trying. Well, I'm gonna keep on stepping because you ain't the person to talk to. But what we're gonna talk about is how, as the speaker, you can kind of work on making sure you doing your part. So for me, how I view it, communication is a two-way interaction between the listener and the speaker. So we both have you both have a responsibility to make good communication. And I feel like anytime you communicating with somebody, the goal should be to have good communication. Because like, why the fuck you talking otherwise? Like, why are you telling somebody something if you don't want it to be a good communication? So, and that requires a contract from both of them to make sure we have clarity. Because you can have communication, because it's regardless, it's an interaction. But good communication requires both of y'all signing off on that contract to do your work, to understand and to listen. So for the speaker, so for the listener, they got to do their best to accurately understand, make sure you're doing the work to make sure I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Like if I don't understand something, you ask questions. But for the speaker, you got to do your best to make sure you conveying it to somebody to where they actually gonna take in what the fuck you saying. Because you can say 1,000,000 words, but it don't matter if you said 1,000,000 words that you understood. If the person you speaking to didn't understand it, in my opinion, you just wasted your time. It was useless. Because I know I talk plenty of time to people and I run it. I say a whole bunch of shit. But if I said 1,000,000 words and you took in 10, shit, the 999,990 other words that I said, nigga had to hit that math real quick. Like, make sure this shit makes sense. I hope that was right. If it was wrong, fuck it. I ain't finna correct it. But them other words was just a waste of time, because what's the point of saying all that if the person I'm speaking to isn't taking it in? Because then I'm just speaking for myself. And if you communicating, the goal shouldn't just be purely to speak for yourself. So just making sure you're doing your job to make sure you effectively communicating, because it's gonna require the effort from both of y'all. So the first topic I want to get into with trying to make sure as a speaker is just pretty much the most basic thing is your word choice. And I mean, obviously there's other ways you can communicate with people. I'm not really gonna get into like body language and things like that directly, but I'll speak on things like tone and other shit that can kind of, body language can kind of fall into. But word choice, and these pretty much is just real basic. Obviously it's what exactly you saying to somebody when you're trying to communicate, and your word choice can be crucial. It's the words we choose to say is so crucial when you're saying something, because sometimes it's like, all right, these are the words I'm choosing, but 2 similar words can mean completely different things. And just making sure you're doing an effort to like think about what you're saying. And sometimes like choosing to say a particular word can mean or convey as much to somebody as the whole phrase of what you're saying. Like, oh, choosing that one word, like the difference between devastated and upset. Like they both something, but if you tell me like, oh, I was upset, or you tell me, oh, I was devastated, even if it's kind of the same tone, like devastated really just sounds so much more like, damn, you was downtrodden. Like upset was like, oh, it was a thing, but That small word choice is gonna have a huge impact on what you're saying. So just understanding sometimes. Make sure if you're trying to say it to somebody, you want them to understand how you feel or the gravity of whatever you're saying. Making sure you're choosing words that actually apply to what it is. Is it that significant to you that you want to convey it, or is it something small, or where you want to pull it back on words, or does the word you're choosing accurately depict what you're trying to say to somebody? And something I say, I feel like sometimes a decent thing we do, like sometimes I feel like people, when you're talking to somebody else, you're choosing words that reflect your intelligence. Like, oh, I want to show you how smart I am. And I mean, that's cool if you have the intelligence to choose words and to say things like that. And it's cool to be like, oh, I know these words, so I'm gonna say these intellectual words in the conversation. And shit, sometimes the intellectual words may be the best, may most accurately explain something. Because I know a lot of words, you got a lot of synonyms, but sometimes the synonym don't quite mean what the fuck you want. Even like the upset or devastated. If you're not actually upset, you're past upset, you're devastated. Devastated may be the word that you choose to use because it most accurately explains what you're trying to say. But on the flip side of it, you can have times where in communication, you like trying to dumb shit down. Because like you might be trying to be smart in other situations, but you're trying to like, all right, let me bring shit down, let me dumb it down to simplify things, or just speak super simple to somebody. And sometimes that dumbed down version could be good because the person's getting it, but also you may dumb it down so much to where it doesn't really have the or the body of what you're trying to say. So understanding, like finding that balance of choosing the words to where the words you choose reflects what you want to say. So like whether I need to use this extra word or I need to use this simpler word, just understanding the time of when it applies for each time. Because it's a time when you want to use a big word and it's a time when you want to use the smaller words. But just make sure you trying to do whatever the listener, the person you're talking to, pretty much choosing the words that mean something to the listener, not choosing something that means something to you. It might reflect what you want it to mean, but make sure the person who listens is gonna take that in. Because it don't matter what the fuck you trying to say to somebody if the way you say it ain't taken the right way. You know what I mean? Like if I'm hurt, but I tell you in a way to where you don't really get that I'm hurt, and you walk away looking like, oh, well, she's straight. If I didn't communicate it to you in that kind of way, or I chose words that didn't reflect that, and it wasn't you not giving a fuck, because if you ain't give a fuck, then hey, that on me, because you ain't give a fuck about me. But if you gave a fuck, but I chose words that didn't really reflect that, I need to make sure I do my part as the speaker to better reflect, hey, no, I'm hurt and I want you to know that. Or I'm happy, and if you like, I might be happy and shit, because I don't always want to like harp in on negative shit. But like shit, you might be happy and somebody like taking it, oh, you seem like you upset? Nah, nigga, I'm fucking happy. Like, let me make sure I'm choosing the words that reflect. Nah, nigga, I'm good. Yeah, we cool and doing a little thing, babe. So, you know, make sure you say the right shit. So moving on from word choice, we're gonna talk about tone. And tone to me really is, you know, like the phrase when people like a huge phrase folks say on a regular, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's a huge thing folks say all the time. It ain't what you said, it's how you say it, it's the way you said it. And a lot of times that really is a difference. It's a huge fucking difference maker. Like when you use using like completely different words, like can change. You can use the same words, but your tone can completely change what somebody hear. Like something simple is like you ask somebody like, "Hey, what you doing? Hey, what you doing? Hey, what you doing?" Like, you know what I mean? Right there, hit you with the same word, same phrasing, different times. Had a little bit of different tone on there, but each time you can understand when I ask what you doing, it's different things like the casual tone, calm tone. What you doing? What you doing? It's just like has that conveyance. So like I'm just asking to see, hey, what you got going on? What's doing? What you doing? Hey, what you doing? It's like, it's a little bit of aggression. Like, hey, what the fuck is you doing? Kind of like, hey, you might need to stop what you're doing. What the fuck going on here? Or if I hit you with hey, what you doing? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's with a little, hey, I ain't trying to be like pricey or something, because I feel like I might have fucked it up. I'm trying to get that vibe, but like, hey, that's the like, hey, babe, what you doing? You know what I mean? How you feeling? What is living like in your world, man? What you doing? That right there, you kind of might be like, hey, you know, what you doing? But I'm trying to say what's up to you, really, though. And that can kind of rub across sometimes. I really hate like me trying to like put that little extra on as I say that shit now. It's like, that nigga think he like running something. That shit sound lame as hell. I don't know, it might have sound lame to you, but when I put that shit on, it work when it need to. But I digress and I'll keep it moving on. But yeah, man, just understanding like the tones that you use. And I mean, I get it. Sometimes we understand it with like our basic communication. Like we can see that sometimes, like, of course tone matter. But sometimes we won't reflect on our tone enough, because really our tone most of the times is a reflection of our emotions. Like, if you're using like those different tones, like the easy case of, oh, I'm calm, so I'm using a calm tone, or I'm upset, I'm using an upset tone. But sometimes we're not even understanding or checking it with our emotions enough to know, hey, look, you trying to ask somebody a question and you think you asking it calm, but your tone has really rose. Like, pay attention to check your emotions, to check with your tone to see how you're talking, so that you know, oh shit, I get why they feel like I'm being aggressive, because my tone is raised and I didn't change that bit. So being reflective about how your tone's coming across, so that you can make sure if it's a time where you might want to reflect that anger, but understand, is that the best communication that you feel like in that moment. So at least if it's not what you want to have, I feel like you at least know it. So, because I mean, hey, if you want to be mad, cool. But if you don't want to have that coming across, and just as well, if you upset, but you giving somebody a lightweight ass tone, like shit, it's hard for somebody to take you seriously if they getting that light ass tone. If you're not choosing words and you're not saying it in a way so that conveys, hey, nah, I'm really upset. Because like a nigga like me, like, if I'm mad, I ain't really the type who want to like get wild and with you. I ain't finna get to yelling and all kind of shit, because I ain't really one for yelling. Like, hey, look, man, life's too hard to be trying to choose in hard situations. So like, if you talking to me and I'm mad, I'm really gonna be like a more direct ass statement, like, hey, nah, stop that. It's not like I'm more like a assertive type of person if I'm speaking, like not aggressive, but like just assertive, like, hey, look, man, nah, I ain't for that. I ain't doing that. And I mean, I can still sometimes say the shit with a smile, but nah, I'm not doing that. Because it's like, fuck, I'm not doing it. I ain't mad. I just need you to know how I'm speaking. So just understanding like the differences in that tone. Like, I'm aware that's the tone that I'm gonna hit. If I want you to know I'm serious and like dead ass, or you doing some shit, it's gonna be a real direct, sharp type of speaking for me. And that's just how I do. That's my goal. But shit, I know with some people, even with that, I try to like alter like how I handle my tone, because that may not work or communicate the best with some people. Cause shit, whether it's I'm talking to a female or girl that's I'm running with, how I'm gonna choose my words with them gonna be different than when I'm running with my partners and trying to like still convey the same kind of message or however I'm feeling. You know, so just like different times, understanding when the tone you choose and apply for what you got going on. So just be sure to like, you know, check your emotions and check how you're feeling to know that you're choosing the right tone for the right situation. Next thing, getting into with the communication and the way that we communicate with others, the way information is delivered, is going to be your intention. And I feel like this is really one of the biggest things to me. Like, when you're speaking to someone, and shit, really in life, everything you're doing, like, what's your goal? If you're doing it, what's the goal of what you're doing it for? So when you're trying to speak to someone and you're trying to convey information, what was your intention when you went into it? Like, really checking yourself, because sometimes we're like, oh, I just did it for whatever reason. But my mind is like, are you truly trying to inform somebody? Because sometimes I feel like people feel like, oh, I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. But it's like, did you check your underlying feelings to where you know, like, what was your fucking intention? Because, like, basically, I feel like in communication, you either trying to inform someone, which is generally, I feel like the most common thing. Like, usually you're trying to say something, you're trying to inform somebody. You got some information in you that you want to convey to them. That's the most general, in my opinion, what most conversations or most communication should fall within. But you also got you communicating to hurt somebody. Like, you ain't just trying to inform them, you saying it to hurt them. Or shit, one, just a basic one, you communicating just because. You communicating to be messy, you know what I mean? Just to gossip, just the point of sharing shit. Or another positive one, you communicating to uplift somebody. Those ones I came up with, I'm pretty sure somebody run through some other shit. You can like make up some other like list or whatever. But those to me just some of the most basic things I feel like when it comes to communicating. Informing somebody, just, hey, look, there's information I have, I want to give it to you. If you're trying to hurt somebody, you have some information, but your purpose in telling them isn't just purely to inform them. It's because I know this is going to hurt you, so I'm going to tell you about it just to hurt you. So understanding, like, you might say it's something good, but that's like, oh, you found out somebody had, somebody got, you know what I mean? Let's say, like, you got a friend, and they got a girl or some shit like that, and you like, oh, I seen her cheating. I'm going to tell you about her cheating just because I want to get out of my down self. So I'm going to tell you to hurt you, so that you mad at them. So now that kind of give me the opening to like, oh, you ain't fucking with them, I can slide in or something like that. Like, your goal wasn't just to inform that person. Your goal in doing that, you had your ulterior motive. If I'm gonna hurt you, they gonna give me a chance to get in the door. You know what I mean? So that type of shit. That's the point in time where you just saying something to hurt somebody. Sometimes you just got information and you just talking out the ass and you just want to talk. So you just talking just because I don't really even care. That's the point in time where you just talking out in the air and you really don't care if somebody hear you or not. You just want to say it and you just want to talk. Sometimes it's just because you just got shit you want to get out. But with that, you got to kind of be cautious because sometimes you just want to get the shit out, but are you aware of if they ain't giving a fuck and you ain't wasting their time, they ain't feeling like that, cool. But shit, sometimes you just doing it, but it might hurt them and you ain't even thinking about it because you on your just because information. So just, you know what I mean, be cautious of that too sometimes. To be messy, obviously that sounds like what it is. Hey, you trying to be messy, you trying to cause a problem, you trying to you got some juicy bit of information. You don't really care about somebody informing somebody, but you just like the feel of just sharing information. You just like the feel of getting shit out there and like having other people know what's going on or some drama type shit. And that can kind of fall in between, like a midpoint in between to inform and to hurt sometimes with gossip. But you know what I mean? It's just like you're just doing it to be messy. But also like ending it to uplift somebody. You can say something, it ain't just to inform you. It's like, I might be telling you something that you might already know, but I'm telling you, like saying to somebody, I'm proud of you. At that point in time, it's not to, it's kind of to inform them, but it's to like let you know, hey, like wherever you at, let me give you this little boost, let you know, hey, look, I'm fucking with you, I'm rocking with you. The shit you doing, hey man, you doing your thing. So I'm saying something to uplift you, to pull you up. So just understand at that point in time, shit, you saying that thing, but it's to bring something, to bring a light to somebody. And so that's why I say just understanding what your intentions are when you're speaking to somebody. Like, what's the reason that you really said that? And like I said, I say that because sometimes you can just feel like you're saying something good, but what was your intention with doing it? And I feel like it's important to check your intentions if you, to see if you really like aiming for the betterment as you go up. Because I personally feel like most times you're speaking to somebody, it should usually fall within that to inform or to uplift kind of space as to why you saying something. Like what's the reason that you're saying what you're saying to somebody? And I know like even recently with like some folks, I done like ran it with them. Often like a conversation is like, all right, you said that to somebody, but what was your intention? Like, what was the goal? You was trying to get there? Do you think that's going to get you to your goal? And so like making sure, like you might have said it for that reason, but is it going to get you to your goal of getting there? And that'll kind of, I follow up a little bit better on that with this next one that we have, and it's consideration. And for me, that's the point. Are you considering the person who you're talking to? Like, are you considering the listener? And I feel like you should definitely always make sure that's a high priority. Whoever the fuck you're talking to, consider the listener. Do not talk to everybody like they're the same person all the time. So at this point, like with consideration, things like word choice and tone, they're based on this. Like the tone that you choose to communicate with somebody, the words that you choose to communicate with that person should be based on the consideration of who that person is. Kind of like how I say, if you have a larger vocabulary, yeah, you might, in this area where you can use that larger vocabulary, or these people who might speak like this and it connects to them better, you might be better off choosing that. But you're in an environment where it doesn't make the people less intelligent, but they don't use that wild, or they don't use those more sophisticated, or whatever you want to call it, type of words. This is the better form to communicate, not choosing these extra ass words. And not saying something wrong with them extra ass words. Like, fuck it. Use the words that you like using, but understand when is the right time to use those words for the person that you're speaking to. Understanding being yourself, but adjusting accordingly or properly for the people that you want to communicate to. Because if someone's actually valuable enough that you want to communicate to them, make sure you're doing the effort to communicate to them. Because it's cool if you like, hey, bet, you know what? Well, I can't communicate in the way that I prefer communicating with you, so I can't fuck with you. And that's cool if you'd have made that choice to not communicate with that person. But if you decided to continue to communicate with somebody, make sure you bringing yourself to adjust, to try to meet in a level to where y'all can effectively communicate with them. Don't just be high on your horse and shit. So like I said, I feel like everyone should be communicated with differently. Because sometimes I feel like people expect the way that they speak to one person to work with every fucking body you speak to. You think like everybody I pull up on, I'm finna talk to all y'all the same way. And the thing is, you gonna complain about it, and you gonna often have that situation of, damn, everybody I talk to, I get a different response to, but I'm just being myself in all these situations. Like, bro, you can't talk to everybody the same way. You can't say the same thing every way. Like for me, a huge thing, the way I would talk to a child, I'm not talking to a child like an adult. Like I feel like a lot of y'all folks be like on that type of way. Like for me, if I needed to tell a child to do something, I'm not gonna talk to a child with the same, they gonna get consideration. They gonna be talked to with intellect, like understanding. But I'm not gonna talk to a child like you're an adult, because you don't have adult responsibilities. If I'm handling and taking care of shit for you, I don't need to talk to you like another adult who handle and take care of their responsibilities. Motherfucker, I handle and take care of you. That's my opinion about that. But I'm not gonna talk to you the same kind of way. There's gonna be a different consideration of how I talk to you because you're a fucking kid. And it's just like to an adult. You can't talk to a fucking adult who you're not responsible for and taking care of their life like they're a fucking kid that you're responsible for and taking care of their life. You gotta make sure you're adjusting. And shit, whether you're talking to a regular adult, your parent, your grandparent, you know what I mean, your siblings, whoever the fuck it is, just making sure you have that consideration, understanding who the fuck you talking to. And for me, like an example I'll talk about is, well, consideration comes in, is like a language difference. And I feel like a lot of times, like people don't have enough consideration for like language differences. Like it's like, oh yeah, basic. Yeah, of course they don't speak the same language, but it's like your expectancy and how you treat people when it's in a different language is sometimes people can be wild with it. Like I feel like most people can get like, all right, for sure, have a certain consideration. But like for me, like even this shit like being in America, it's like, are you in America? Speak English. Motherfucker, plenty of people want to come here. Folks want to do shit. Motherfuckers get hired here because they didn't came from another country. It's like, oh, this might be easier hire type shit. So don't hate on the motherfucker because they didn't came here trying to better their life and their communication ain't able to speak on this certain type of shit. Where the fuck they might be at, you fucking sound stupid. So like, just understand, I bet you trying to speak to somebody who don't understand your language. If you gonna choose to speak to that motherfucker who don't understand your language, make sure you doing the work to, well, all right, bet, let me accommodate when I'm speaking to you. Like, I fucking talk fast. But if I'm talking to somebody and they hit me with that, hey, bet, hold on, could you slow down a little bit? I don't quite understand. I'm gonna slow the fuck down because I want them to understand what I'm saying. It's like, okay, bet. I talk fast to what some people who speak English or who from my areas might not understand me. So bet I need to slow the fuck down when I'm talking to somebody who don't speak this language that I'm speaking naturally. And understand that like, it's so much nuance within it. Like shit, it's American, I'm speaking English, but shit, if I talk to a motherfucker in Britain or some shit and they talking their English, they saying all kind of shit that has no fucking application to me. Now I watch them boys shits and gigs, they podcast on a regular, so I pick up on a little bit more of their nuance of their London slang and shit like that. But in regular conversation, if a nigga just pulled up on me saying that shit, like what? Huh? Bro, what you talking about? Like I don't say gal. Like I don't say that. Gal. Like I be like, oh, you saying gal? Cause I'm country. So nigga say gal. But like Gyal, that shit don't mean nothing out here. So it's just like understanding like those little bits of like the nuances between the language. And like shit, being Southern, like I can talk to a motherfucker from LA or New York or some shit and they like, hold on, what the fuck is he saying? A little bit because of my accent. But bitch, pay attention. You might hear what I'm saying. This podcast, I'm being comfortable and casual, so I try my best to make sure I'm communicating to where y'all can understand it. But the goal here is to communicate to people in my most open way to where y'all can take it in. But if I'm talking to somebody directly, the ways that I might at times speak on this podcast, I'll even alter that shit because I want you, the fucking person I'm speaking to directly, to understand what I'm saying. So making sure I'm giving that consideration of just those different parts of it. And that's just dialect at that point. That's still within English. But if you're talking to somebody from another language, it's so much, even the way words conjugate and shit put together, you putting it into this English word and you saying it quickly, that person is easy to understand why they're not getting what you're saying. So making sure you're doing the effort and the work to, if you're speaking to somebody else in another language, that's just an example where you want to fucking accommodate to that fucking person you're talking to. And even like another example I feel like is, like I say, like knowledge base. Like if you know something and you smart and you intelligent about something, like I know a partner of mine, nigga be getting my fucking nerves when boy be saying this shit. Bro be saying hella work acronyms like a motherfucker be talking to me. I'm like, bro, I don't know what the fuck that mean. I don't know what the fuck that mean. And I get it, like he doing it because it's just like, this is regular conversation, how we talking. And I know sometimes I even have like my work acronyms or some shit we use, but it's like, hey bro, you can't use this shit to me because these, you done said 17 acronyms to me and not one of them motherfuckers meant shit to me. So understand, like when you communicate, hey, you need to have an adjustment for who you talking to. And that doesn't mean the person you're talking to lacks knowledge or they lack understanding or they stupid or some shit like that. It's like that information is not applicable to my life. So to now for me to get understanding, there's an adjustment that needs to be made. So making sure when you're talking to somebody, understanding that consideration for who you're talking to is going to adjust the way you present that information. Because I ain't stupid, you ain't stupid. We just have different knowledge bases and that we move through in life. You know what I mean? And let me see what else I got here. Those are the main things I feel like on how you give information. One of the last things I'm gonna say is like on direct and indirect communication. And to me, this is a really big thing because I feel like a lot of people fall really on one or the two sides of this. Sometimes negatively or positively on both sides. You got some people who direct and rude as shit. You got some people who indirect and indirectly rude as shit. You know what I mean? Or maybe not even rude as shit on the indirect part. You just like indirectly, but shit, it's indirect and uninformative. So yeah, I feel like some people are very direct with their words. I myself fall within that. I try to be as direct. Like sometimes I may not choose the right words, but I try to say directly. I don't like talking around shit a lot of times. If I'm talking around shit, it's because I really don't want to talk about it. If I'm talking around and hitting you with little circles, that's my, I really don't want to talk about this shit, but let me give you like a little split, little of what I'm talking about, but let's really walk the fuck on. Like, please take, if I sound like I'm dancing around the motherfucker, either I'm struggling to find the words, but most of the time, I don't want to talk about this shit. Could we keep moving, please? But yeah, so like I'm generally like trying to be very direct about things. But for some people, like, hey, like some people speaking phrases that mean other things. So like sometimes like the person like, you want to go there? Nah, I don't want to go there. And that's I don't want to. Matter of fact, that might not even be the best thing. Like, nah, I don't want to go there. So like, I can't fucking think about it because I don't speak indirectly. So now I'm trying to think of an example for some shit of how I don't talk. Y'all know what the fuck indirect conversations is. So like, sometimes people speak indirectly, and it's like you expecting people to have this understanding of reading between the lines. And like I say, everybody welcome to their own preference of communication. If it worked for people, one of my only issues with indirect is it has too much room for error, because if you're speaking indirectly, I have to have a level of understanding the nuances or the trying to read between the line of what does that mean, or okay, they said this, but they said this and this and in this tone, and it's trying to find out what the fuck you trying to say, because it ain't as direct as, okay, let me match the word choice to the tone with those, and you can kind of have, if you speaking directly, you can follow a straight line bar across those. But when it's indirect, you got word tones and little shit, and you making magic and you putting the shit together. And like, I understand it, hey, it worked for some people, and that's how you understand it. You kind of scared, or you grew up in a household that wasn't direct. But it's like, that shit's a hard ass thing. So like for me, I don't like speaking with people who speak indirectly, because now I gotta guess, or you said something to me and it's like, what the fuck that mean? And shit, I even know people who I done ran into for a minute, and like we done been cool for a minute, but you speak indirectly, so it's like, it's still so much harder to understand what you're saying. And I will say, I feel like it's a little bit, at least from an American kind of standpoint, I feel like it's a bit more male-female kind of thing for the most part. I think men speak a bit more directly, female a bit more indirectly, but I know buku females who do speak directly or come from kind of an area where that's the case, like kind of when you think of like the female who kind of like popping off and she just saying her shit because she real direct. Sometimes it's rude, but sometimes it's like real direct with how she feeling, because it's not always rude. Sometimes what's taken as rude is someone telling their honest feelings, because like if I'm being direct and I told you how I feel, the fact that you're hurt by the fact of me being honest, that doesn't make me a rude or an asshole person. I just been telling my honest feelings, and instead of trying to sugarcoat and be indirect and hide my feelings under some other shit, I told you actually how I felt, but because you didn't like it, now you're hurt. So I'm learning, I'm better off being indirect. No, let me be fucking honest. If you want to be honest, if you ask me an honest question, you want to know what the fuck going on, be ready for the real answer, be ready for the direct answer. If you're not ready for the direct answer, don't ask that direct ass question. You want to dance? Hey, tell me you want to dance, and I'll give you whatever little dance, and we'll do that little shit. But again, I hate that it really sound like I'm, a little bit, because I was going to say, I hate that it sound like I'm talking shit about people who speak indirectly, but a little bit I am, because I do feel like people are open to speak how they speak, but I feel like speaking indirectly is so inefficient and ineffective when it comes to communication. So I definitely believe, hey, look, we should aim to be a bit more direct. Be okay with the shit that you say to somebody. Be okay with saying something to somebody, and be okay with somebody telling you how the fuck they really feel, so that you can act and move based off actual information instead of a bunch of fucking assumed information. Cause like, I don't know, this is just like an off thought that came to my mind. This is like, for me, like the assumed situation, like people who be in relationships and they in there the whole time wondering, damn, I wonder this motherfucker cheating. And that's a whole lot of like indirect shit, and you there wondering, so you asking all kind of questions, all kind of move around bullshit, like, oh, you cheating on me, but you ain't asking are they cheating on you, asking all kind of other shit. Well, yeah, what you doing? I don't trust you doing any fucking kind of thing. And in my mind, fuck all them indirect questions. Hey, is you fucking on that other nigga? Is you fucking on another nigga? Like, what the fuck going on here? Does your mouth got new dick on your tongue? Is what I'm trying to understand. And if it is, shit, I know and I can move accordingly. If it don't, shit, oh my bad, baby. I ain't mean nothing by it. I was just wondering, and you was kind of moving in a way of doing some shit, or I peeped some shit that kind of had me wondering. So instead of kind of bullshitting with you, I was gonna ask this question. I'd rather that a little bit. Now I ain't gonna lie. Of course, you might take a little offense because like, oh, why would you ask this? But shit, I'd rather that shit than dealing with the dancing around, the long indirect shit, and you trying to snoop and I'm trying to snoop and we trying to do all this shit, man. Fuck all that. But that's just me. But yeah, man. And like for me, an example like a recent joint, like I said, I'm gonna wrap up in a minute. An example for the indirect conversation that I recently kind of had is just like with people. I feel like sometimes people will be speaking and talking to each other, like people who kind of used to more indirect conversations. Cause it's like, okay, yeah, like I say, people are welcome to speak how they speak. But if you speaking indirectly and like me peeping some people, like two people speaking very indirectly and saying, oh yeah, we're on the same page. And it's a recent conversation, like had somebody, they said blah, 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 blah. And then this other person, blah, 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 blah. And they talking and I'm peeping and watching. I'm the third party in it. And I'm like, knowing the two people, I'm like, yeah, I don't think they're on the same motherfucking page. And then they like, oh yeah, we good. So I'm like, hey, y'all straight? Y'all both on, oh yeah, for sure. I understand what they saying. They understand what I'm saying. We good. I'm looking at this shit. I'm like, these motherfuckers lying. And they lying to their damn self. They don't even understand that they don't understand they're on the same page. So I'm like, all right, bet. So what this person saying? Can you explain to me what they saying right here? They run it. They say that shit. Basically, that person like, nah, that ain't it. And then, hey, so what you think this person think? Blah, blah, blah. They run it. They saying that shit. Oh, that ain't what they were saying. And afterwards, it's like, they have to have a follow-up of like getting more conversation. Like, oh, yeah. Oh, actually, we didn't understand this. Oh, I actually didn't understand. It's like, bruh, if y'all was more direct, if you were more actually saying more of the shit you wanted to, asking more of the direct questions that you want to know, finding the fuck out, you'll know these type of things. But instead, you moving in this indirect ass way, and then you having this answer of, yeah, this direct ass answer of, yeah, I get you. But when you walk away and you have an issue, it's because you did not communicate with each other directly enough. So as that speaker making sure, no, I'm asking a question. I'm not assuming that I understood what the fuck you saying. Could you explain it to me more? Well, I guess that's more the listener. But as a speaker, making sure you doing your part to share enough information to where they know what the fuck you were saying. And like I said, just getting those drastically different bits of information just reflects that indirect shit to me is just too often gonna result in errors. Cause that's my biggest issue with indirect conversations. Too much assumptions, too much room for fucking error. If I'm talking to you, I don't got time to be wasting my time. I want you to know what the fuck I'm saying, cause I'd rather not have to say it in 100 sentences if I can say it in 10. So I'm gonna say this shit directly if that's the way we can communicate. And like I said, well, not like I say. I love to fucking say like I say. I don't know where the fuck I get that sentence from. But your actions, man. A big thing is like following up your actions with words. Like as a speaker, making sure you're doing your part. Like if I say something, follow up the shit that you said so that the motherfucker know, hey, they actually stand on what they saying. And this really, it really ain't the main point of what I'm talking about with today's topic. But I feel like it's a big thing. Like, man, if you say something, stand on it, be able to like, hey, bet that I'm standing on this shit. So if a motherfucker hear you say something, they can believe the shit you say. Like I can believe and match your tones and words, cause all the shit that I said today, the biggest thing is you gotta be not fucking lying. Like we ain't talk about that shit, but not fucking lying is the big shit. If all the shit you doing honest, if you being honest in most of that communication, you can find more clarity. But if you throw lies in that motherfucker, cause so your actions ain't gonna match up to the shit you saying, you got a whole another motherfucking problem right there. And that's a whole nother motherfucking issue that we ain't finna motherfucking get into today. So y'all know what that motherfucking mean. That's the motherfucking end of this event today. So after that shit, y'all already know, man, we end this event. So we're gonna talk about getting better, not better. And if we getting better, not better, that means we gotta focus on one thing. Anytime I say it, I want y'all to always understand this shit. And if you done watched this podcast a few times, you might have heard me say this shit. So hopefully I'm trying to get y'all to the point where y'all can say this motherfucking shit with me. It's easier to say it than to do it, but sometimes you have to hear it said to know you can do it. Let me say it one more time for the people in the back. It's easier to say it than to do it, but sometimes you have to hear it said to know you can do it. So I want y'all to know, hey, look, with all this shit I done talked about today as far as like the responsibility and how to like make sure you communicating and sharing information, is that you doing your part to like grow and get better in this thing. Cause we ain't trying to be bitter. We ain't trying to be mad if we find out, oh, we don't communicate well. Well, fuck it. We ain't communicate well yesterday. Today we gonna communicate a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. Before you know it, you're gonna be good at this shit. And shit, I'm still trying to get better at it. You know what I mean? I'm talking all this shit, but hey, trust and believe. I still got buku motherfuckers I run it with and I had issues with. So we always just trying to get a little bit better every day. So just making sure with the trying to get better, man, you paying attention to what you say, how you say, the different inflections, the directness, your intention, your consideration. Just make sure you're doing all those things that'll set you up and put you in position to be better at communication. Because like I said, I can say this shit all day. You might have known some of this shit, but hopefully hearing it right now can let you think about it just the extra little bit to where you do that part to where it's like, nah, yeah, me and my kids, yeah, me and my husband, me and my wife, me and my sister, me and my brother, me and my mother, me and my father, me and my grandparents, me and my friend, me and this motherfucking coworker, whoever the fuck it is, you're communicating a little bit better and doing just being a little bit better. So make sure a big part is like being yourself, because I definitely don't feel like you should bend and not be yourself in situations. You don't want to be fake. But reflect on yourself and like the things you're doing to best communicate with whoever you're talking to. Because the goal is to be a better communicator, not just for others, well, not just for yourself, but for others. Well, fuck, for yourself and others. The goal is to be a better communicator for yourself and others. Because if you're saying something well, for one, you'll get your point across clearly and you'll have to use less words. You can just be more clear on those things. And also people will have better understanding of what you're saying and what you feel. So if I'm hurt about some shit and I want to let you know, if I communicated to you very well, you will have to understand it. And now you can show me if you give a fuck. And once I see that, I know I clearly conveyed that to you, and we confirmed that you understood what I was saying. You showed me you don't give a fuck. Now I know that you don't give a fuck. Not you didn't know, or you had a misunderstanding. You showed me you didn't give a fuck. Or if you cared, you showed me that you cared. So just allows you to move accordingly. So man, just make sure you're doing the part. Be better, not better. Let's get better every day, y'all. I don't know, motherfucking podcast. You feel like this shit take ever, boy. All right, so look, man, that's the end of the show. That's the end of all this shit, man. Y'all already know. It's your boy AL, man. I'm happy that y'all been rocking with me, been in the house, man, doing our motherfucking thing. Please make sure y'all remember, because I forgot to say this shit in the beginning. Y'all goddamn subscribe. I think like and get the notification bell. You know what I mean? Do all that shit. I tried to do the shit so like it's in line with how the shit pop up or whatever. But man, make sure y'all do that shit, because I really appreciate it. Go a long way. It help me like continue making this content. Potentially get it out to other people. Other folks can find this shit. They can fuck with it. Your friends can fuck with it. Hit your shares. Like send it to your friends. Send it to your mama. Send it to whoever you need to. I cuss a lot, so you know might not want to send it to your folks who in the church a little bit. But your folks who in the church, but you know they was out on Saturday night. Hey, you can slide it to them though. They can fuck with it. So and I'm in the church too. Like I mean, like I'm talking all this shit, but I believe in being this honest self. That's honestly me. I ain't fucked up over cussing. None of that shit. So, man, just hopefully y'all do that shit. Like I said, on YouTube, it's StoryHouse. Like, it's a StoryHouse show, StoryHouse podcast. But you can find it, like, if you look at the username, because, you know, YouTube be having usernames and shit now. It's StoryHouse __XO. StoryHouse _XO. One word, StoryHouse. I don't know why the fuck they won't let me do like how I have it on every other platform. Like I said, it's StoryHouse.XO on every other platform. That's Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. I don't know why I say Facebook. I never engaged with the Facebook. But yeah, if you want to find me on any of them platforms, you can definitely look on there. I share clips on the regular from what's going on, man. Hey, feel welcome to hit me in the DMs, because I really would love to have a conversation with y'all. Drop a comment on some of this shit if you fucking with it. If you got good feedback, negative feedback. But if you want to do that shit, make sure it's on social media. Now, if you want to like let me know that you're really, really fucking with me, that's when you drop a review. Fuck the comment, drop a review on like Spotify, Apple Music and shit like, or Apple Podcast, shit like that. Leave that 5-star review. Let me know the best of the best. You're fucking with me. Leave it in them comments, good things. Let people know that I say such great things and just give such amazing knowledge coming from the voice of AL, man. Just let them folks know you fucking with me and I'm fucking with y'all back. On that note, I don't think I got shit else to say, so that means I'm tired of y'all looking at my face, and I'm tired of looking at this camera face and this goddamn microphone in front of me. So I'm finna let y'all motherfuckers know we finna get about this bitch, man. So what that mean is that's the end of the motherfucking show. That's the end of this whole year, man. Hey. But make sure y'all pull up on me on the next volunteer session. So, man, look, man, it's a StoryHouse show. I'm appreciating y'all. Like, y'all already know, man. What's down, baby? We been up in that thing, doing our little shit. You feel me? Cutting up. Oh. And you hear me? I got a trip coming up, boy. Finna hit the goddamn boot. You hear me? I'm a Louisiana nigga. I'm from the north, though. Make sure y'all understand that. I'm from North Louisiana. I don't never want that shit misunderstood. Niggas not from that bottom. But I'm finna be in that bottom. Finna be in that north. Finna hear that north, that cap. You hear that? You know what I mean? So we finna be up on that shit right there. So yeah, man. Hopefully have a good ass trip like that. Oh, and my baby, like I told y'all, my baby, I ain't finna really tell y'all what school she going to, but we finna hit a little trip, go out and slide with my little niece or and shit. She finna hit my baby going off to college. He grow up so fast. I remember when I was watching other people wipe her ass. Crazy times. But yeah, man, so like I said, StoryHouse show, man, y'all up in here. I'm happy y'all been kicking with me. Y'all been rocking with me. We've been doing our thing. We've been boogieing. We've been doing our motherfucking shit, nigga, you know what I mean? From the boot, grab my shirt, I jig a little bit, and this shit been fun. But man, that's the end. That's the wrap. So I don't know where the fuck you going. I ain't telling you where the fuck you going. Other than out my motherfucking door. So love y'all, man. Y'all be easy, man. Y'all already know how the fuck we do this shit. StoryHouse show, man, it's always love. I see y'all motherfuckers next week. As always, if you watching this bitch late, go ahead and watch the next episode. Because I say some good shit next week. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And if it sounds stupid, I guarantee it. But yeah, man, it's a StoryHouse show, man. It's all love. Y'all be easy. We out this thing.
I've been going through some things, so much on my brain, just hoping it would change. I've been going through some things, so much on my brain, seem like all I feel is pain.